Caitlin Clark just did something mind-blowing. In only 41 games, she pulled off what took Diana Taurasi a massive 565 games to reach. Let that sink in for a second. We're not just watching a great player grow, we might be seeing the biggest rookie to sophomore leap in pro basketball history. And honestly, no one saw it coming like this.
There it is! A triple.
While everyone's buzzing about Caitlin Clark's triple-double, most people have no idea. 11 records were shattered that night by Clark and the Indiana Fever. I watched every single moment of their total beatdown of the Chicago Sky, and what I found will leave you speechless. That triple-double? It was just the start of a night that completely rewrote the WNBA history books. If you're riding with Indiana, drop a comment below saying, "I've got the fever." Let's go.
Fever organization be what it is today. Like, it is just so fun to be a part of. There's been a lot of anticipation.
You've done a great job in training camp leading to this moment. Enjoy it. Okay, go out there and have some fun.
While everyone's eyes were locked on Caitlin Clark that night, something huge quietly happened that almost no one noticed. DeWanna Bonner stepped onto the court just 7 points away from basketball immortality. Think about that. 15 years of grinding, endless highlights, and now she was right there. Just steps away from becoming the third highest scorer in WNBA history.
Bonner is the 4th all-time leading scorer in WNBA history. And in her first game with the Fever, will likely move into 3rd all-time. She's currently just 6 points behind Tina Thompson for 3rd on the all-time scoring charts.
With all the Fever mania taking over, you had to wonder, would anyone even notice this massive milestone? That question hung in the air as the game against Chicago tipped off. Bonner's been a bucket getter since 2009, quietly climbing the scoring charts year after year with Phoenix, Connecticut, and now Indiana. And here she was, just 7 points away from passing Tina Thompson on the WNBA's all-time scoring list.
Bonner, who knocks it away. Cookies, DB, open court, right side, and she lays it in.
The moment finally arrived in the final quarter. Bonner was sent to the free throw line to hit 2 shots. The first one swished in, tying the record in front of an adoring crowd. The second one pushed her past 7,488 career points, making her just the 3rd player in the 28-year history of the WNBA to reach this scoring summit.
One more free throw for Bonner. It's in the air, and it's good. DeWanna Bonner now 3rd in WNBA history in scoring. 7,489 points and counting. And here's the ovation for Bonner.
What makes Bonner's achievement even more special is how she's transformed the Fever's culture. This isn't just some aging star chasing personal glory. She's a 6-time All-Star with 2 championships who brings winning DNA to a young roster desperate for guidance. When she speaks in the locker room, players like Clark Boston, Kelsey Mitchell, and Lexi Hall listen.
You know, DB is somebody that, is a Hall of Famer, like a legend, not only a good basketball player, a great person, a great leader. The strongest voice in our locker room is hers. And it's fun to have been around here now for about a month just to get to learn from her and soak it in. And I'm really happy she got to do it at the free throw line and all the fans could go crazy and cheer for her because she certainly deserved that moment. And it was really awesome to see and be a part of.
The Indiana crowd rose to their feet, giving Bonner a standing ovation as the PA announcer shared her milestone. It was a powerful moment, a reminder that even in an age of viral highlights and rising young stars, true basketball fans still know how to honor greatness that's lasted for years. Bonner's rise to becoming the 3rd all-time leading scorer wasn't just about her. It set the energy for a night full of record-breaking moments. Now, only Tina Charles stands in her way for the 2nd spot with 7,696 points. But even with that amazing moment, the night was far from over. Because another Fever star was about to send a loud message. Indiana's future isn't just bright, it's scary. Remember when people doubted if Aaliyah Boston could really dominate? Especially going up against her fellow South Carolina alum, Camila Cardoso, who's 6'7"? Well, those doubts were completely crushed in the most powerful way possible. right there against the Chicago Sky.
Hey, good stuff. Okay, we did a lot of really good things. I thought our defense was really good, and when we had lapses, we played through possessions. All right, so we made things happen. Y'all, overall, just...
Aaliyah Boston stepped into her third season with something to prove. She didn't just want to be good, she wanted to be the kind of player you build a franchise around. Side by side with Caitlin Clark, Boston was ready to become one half of a duo that could carry Indiana for the next 10 years. Something big is building in Indianapolis, and this game showed exactly why. On the other side, the Chicago front court showed up feeling confident, maybe a little too confident. Angel Reese had been talking all week about how she was going to dominate the paint against Boston. Instagram posts, press interviews, even during warm-ups. Reese made sure everyone knew she expected to control the matchup. But Boston had other plans. Her answer? A defensive masterclass that left the crowd stunned. 5 monster blocks, shots flying into the stands, fans on their feet, and Sky players shaking their heads. Every time Reese tried to score, Boston was already there, waiting. And after this epic showing, Boston officially climbed to 6th place in Fever history for most blocks. Those 13 rebounds weren't just impressive, they were historic. That performance pushed Boston to 8th all-time in rebounds in Fever franchise history, and she's only in her 3rd season. Let that sink in. Players have been crashing the boards for Indiana for decades, and Boston's already made it into the top 10. But it didn't stop there. 19 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 blocks. That stat line put Boston in extremely rare territory. She became just the 2nd player in WNBA history to have 15-plus points, 10-plus rebounds, and 5-plus blocks in a season opener. The only other one? Natasha Howard, all the way back in 2014. That's elite company, especially for someone only in her 3rd year.
Yes, great job of those long arms of Aaliyah Boston here, going up multiple times, and then...
The Clark to Boston connection was locked in all night. Like they'd been playing together for years. Clark kept feeding her big with ease. A high-low pass here, a perfect bounce pass there. On the other end, Boston guarded the rim like it held national secrets. Every time Chicago thought they had a clear path to the hoop, Boston shut it down instantly. Angel Reese did grab 17 rebounds, but her scoring took a serious hit. She went just 5 for 14 from the field, struggling to get anything over Boston's perfectly timed contests. That matchup everyone was hyping? It turned into a lesson in how elite defense, smart positioning, and perfect timing can completely flip the script.
Hit it once, I'll hit it again. Pow, pow, pow! Fever dub.
But the most jaw-dropping moment of the night came on defense, when Boston and a teammate teamed up to create a record the WNBA had never seen before on opening night. Their connection was so sharp, so disruptive, that scoring wings and guards across the league might have to rethink how they even try to attack Indiana's defense. And what Caitlin Clark pulled off against the Sky, it wasn't just impressive, it was something truly historic. In the entire 28-year history of the WNBA, no one, not Diana Taurasi, not Sue Bird, not Cheryl Swoops, had ever done what Clark did that night. Nobody.
Ready for the season to tip off. It's the Fever against the Chicago Sky. We saw record crowds a season ago, and I'd say they are back and raring to go in 2025.
Clark walked into her 2nd season with the weight of the world on her shoulders. After breaking 62 records as a rookie and turning the Fever from a lottery team into a playoff threat, fans were buzzing with one big question. What could she possibly do next? Expectations were sky high, but even with all that hype, no one could have guessed what she was about to pull off against Chicago.
The Indiana Fever faced off against the Chicago Sky in a blowout victory, and I have 3 words. Oh my God.
Right from the start, Clark came out blazing. Just minutes into the game, she pulled up from the logo and drilled it. One of those shots that makes defenders just shake their heads in disbelief. The ball didn't even think about rattling around. It barely touched the net as it dropped straight through.
The ball barely touched the net as it went through.
But that shot was just the beginning. Clark played like someone who'd spent the entire offseason with one mission: to dominate on both ends of the court. She started spotting passing lanes no one else could see, zipping the ball through tight spaces like magic. She was grabbing rebounds over taller players, timing her jumps perfectly. But the most shocking part? She started blocking shots in a way we've never seen from her before.
Not the first one in your career, but you had 4 blocks out there. That's more than you ever had in college. Matches your WNBA career high. Felt like you were channeling the spirit of Gabby Marshall out there with the blocks. Is that a part of your game that you've been working on the postseason? Are we going to see more blocks out of you as your career rolls on?
Her 4 blocks weren't just a personal best. They were a WNBA record for the most blocks by a point guard in a season opener. It stunned everyone who thought defense was her weak spot. And these weren't soft contests. These were powerful rejections that lit a fire under the whole team. Then came the peak of the Clark-Boston connection. Together, they combined for 9 blocks, the most ever by a duo in a season opener in league history. Let that sink in. A point guard and a center doing what's usually expected from Twin Towers-style front courts. This wasn't just defense, it was a message.
It's not really something you can work on. I don't know, I felt like I had active hands. I had some pokes when our post players were playing good defense, and coaching staff has just challenged me to try to be a better defender every single practice and just getting better in that area. I still feel like there's a lot of room for me to improve. I don't think any of those blocks were too obvious. You look at the stat sheet and it's like, oh wow, 4, but you can get your hand on there and help your teammate out. It makes a world of a difference. So
as the 4th quarter began, the entire arena was buzzing. Clark was just 2 assists and 1 rebound away from making history. Fans were glued to every move. She was on the verge of the first ever 20-point, 10-rebound, 10-assist triple-double in a season opener. Each time she passed the ball, the crowd held their breath. Every missed shot had them anxiously watching. Would she grab the board? Then, with just under 5 minutes left, she hit Aaliyah Boston with a perfect pass for a mid-range jumper, her 10th assist. The place exploded. Moments later, Clark checked back in and grabbed her 10th rebound. The arena went completely wild. History was officially made. Clark's 2010-10 wasn't just her 3rd career triple-double. It pushed her to number 3 all-time in WNBA triple-doubles. She became the fastest player in league history to reach that milestone, doing it in just 41 games, while also tying Alyssa Thomas for the 2nd most 20-point triple-doubles ever.
There it is! A triple.
But here's the most mind-blowing stat of the night, the one that proves Caitlin Clark isn't just making history. She's destroying timelines. She now has 9 games with 20-plus points and 10-plus assists. 2nd all-time, right behind Courtney Vandersloot. But here's the jaw-dropper. Clark did it in just 41 games. Diana Taurasi, she needed 565 games to hit that number. Vandersloot, 430. Clark just waltzed into that elite company before even finishing her sophomore season. This isn't just record-breaking. This is redefining what's possible. What takes legends their entire careers to achieve. Clark's doing on a rookie contract. Let that sink in. If she keeps up even half this pace, she won't just rewrite the record books. She'll own every major WNBA scoring, assist, and triple-double mark before it's all said and done. And that's not a hot take. That's cold, hard math.
Caitlin Clark is a superstar, not a female superstar. She is a superstar.
We were coming to see Caitlin Clark play.
She moves the needle.
What we just witnessed against the Sky? That wasn't just a win. It was the beginning of a dynasty. The Fever didn't just beat Chicago, they destroyed them by 35 points. That's not just a blowout. That's the 2nd largest margin of victory in Indiana Fever history. And while the doubters might brush it off as just one game, the numbers scream otherwise. 11 records, one night. That's not coincidence. That's a statement. When you bring generational talents like Clark and Boston together, something rare happens. Everything clicks at the exact moment. This game wasn't about the scoreboard, it was a warning shot. To every team in the league, the Fever have arrived, and they're not just playing. They're coming to take over.
She just absolutely did it all and became a magnet for attention and an icon for sports fans, certainly little girls. certainly mine as well. Playing her basketball and watching her play.